We're always told that success is all about skill or talent or just grinding it out with hard work. But what if that's not the whole story? What if the biggest factor, the real secret sauce, is something else? Today, we're going to dive into this idea that success is actually 90% mindset. Let's break down the mental frameworks that really separate the people who get ahead. I mean, think about it. We all know somebody like this, right? They've got all the talent in the world, the skills, the smarts, but they just seem stuck. It's super frustrating to watch and even more frustrating to experience. So, what is it? What's that invisible wall that's really holding them back? Well, the answer, believe it or not, comes down to this one number: 90%. It seems like a lot, I know. But this represents that hidden force, the undercurrent, that's really steering the ship and deciding where we end up. And here it is, the big idea for today, the 90-10 rule. It's so simple. Your skills, your training, your raw talent, all that stuff is just 10% of the equation. The real work, the part that makes all the difference, that's the 90% that happens right between your ears. You just can't build a new future holding on to the same old mindset that built your past. So let's dig into the shifts you need to make to change it. Okay, so our first major shift, and trust me, this is a huge one. It's all about moving away from that traditional employee way of thinking and starting to adopt the mindset of an entrepreneur, an owner, a builder. This really gets to the core of it. The employee mindset is all about chasing this illusion of stability. That steady paycheck that feels safe but could disappear in a heartbeat. The owner, on the other hand, gets a much deeper truth, that real, permanent stability isn't something you find, it's something you build, even if it means you got to get comfortable with a little bit of uncertainty at the start. And you can see how this plays out in the real world, right? While the employee's thinking about their next paycheck, the entrepreneur's thinking 5, 10 years down the road about long-term ownership. When someone brilliant and talented joins the team, the employee might feel a little threatened, like their spot is at risk. But the entrepreneur, they see a future partner. And here's the real kicker. The employee waits around for the company to invest in their growth, while the entrepreneur knows, without a doubt, the best investment they can ever make is in themselves. All right, let's jump into our second big shift and see how it builds on that idea. This one is all about how you look at your own abilities and the challenges that pop up. We're talking about the jump from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. The difference here is so simple, but it changes absolutely everything. A fixed mindset is the belief that your talents are basically set in stone. You're either good at something or you're not. End of story. But a growth mindset, that's the belief that your basic abilities can be developed, that they can grow with dedication and hard work. Oh man, this sentence right here, this is basically the theme song for the fixed mindset. I'm not good at this. I'm just not a people person. Oh, I'm terrible with numbers. It's a statement that just slams the door shut on any chance of getting better. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. But then you have the growth mindset in action, and it all boils down to one word: responsibility. Instead of blaming the market or the bad timing or whatever, you take ownership, and that ownership gives you the power to find a solution. You're not just trying to get a pat on the back, you're focused on actually making progress. And when you see someone else succeed, you don't feel jealous, you get inspired. You see it as proof that it can be done. Okay, on to our third and final shift. This one goes even deeper. It's about moving beyond just being clever or smart in the moment, and instead cultivating real, long-term wisdom. This is such a key distinction. Being smart is often about finding the quickest, cleverest way to get an immediate reward. It might work for now, but being wise, that's a totally different game. It's about taking the time to build a solid bridge, a foundation that's going to support you and others for years to come. It's about playing the long game. And this candy company idea really nails it. The smart person, they're going for that quick sugar rush, the easy sale, the deal that pays big right now. It feels amazing at first, but you can't build a life on a diet of candy. The wise builder knows that having 50% of a massive growing thing is way more valuable than having 100% of a solo gig, where you're just trading your time for money. And you see this wisdom in how people communicate too. A smart person is all about winning the argument, proving they're right. But a wise person, they're playing for connection. They understand that real influence isn't about being the loudest person in the room. It's about building trust and making people feel heard and valued. So when you put these three massive shifts together, the entrepreneur, the growth mindset, and the wise builder, It all comes down to this one really powerful idea. You are in the driver's seat. You get to write your own story. And it's really as simple as this. Step one, you can't change the event. The rejection, the bad news, the setback, that stuff is outside your control. But step two, you absolutely can change your attitude about it. The meaning you give that event, that's 100% up to you. Every no isn't a failure. It's just a rep in the gym, building the mental muscle you're going to need to lead. And I really want this next thought to sink in. Leadership isn't some exclusive club where all the spots are already taken. The future leaders are being made right now. They're the ones who are deciding today to make these mindset shifts we just talked about. They haven't all arrived yet, but believe me, they are on the way. So, it all comes back to you. After exploring these different mindsets, the only question that really matters right now is this one. Take a second. Be honest. Which mindset is at the controls, building your future at this very moment? Because in the end, that answer, that determines everything.